Hey everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. Today is a special video. We've got site plans for the Lucid factory in Casa Grande, Arizona. And we're going to be going over that and we're going to take questions from you guys. Hopefully we can clear some things up on what's going in. Maybe you guys can help me out on some of the acronyms. And oh, there goes my phone. I guess I forgot to mute that. Well, that's taken care of. All right. So we got a couple people on here. What do we got? About 29 people. And hey, we only got 6 likes. So if you guys could mash on that like button, I'd appreciate it. Let's see. We got Sam says yo. Mr. Kilo's here. Nice. Happy face from Blank Slate. I Melt says like the video, guys. Well, here's an echo. Okay, we got up to 8. The porridge is too cold. It is cold. It is cold and rainy here. And that's why we did not do a flyover of Lucid today on a normal scheduled day. New haircut? No. Just tied up today. So it's all still there. A little short on the side, but that was a couple weeks ago. So no flyovers today because of the weather. I'm looking up at my screen right now. It's just dark clouds on one of my security cameras. So it was also windy. It didn't start raining till 11, but there was so much wind today that we knew by the time we got to the first stop, it would be too much and we wouldn't be able to fly. So in lieu of that, we are doing the Lucid site plans that I got. They came in while I was on vacation. I teased out on a little bit on Twitter, and we're going to take a look at these things. I've got really 2 main photos. And honestly, I probably got 250 pages of documents, breaking down grading and sewers, utilities. But, that's maybe interesting to people who are in that field. But what we're trying to see is where the buildings are going, what they're going to be called, or the future site plans. The one that I have up on the screen right now, this was from July 31st or July 1st of last year. I have another site plan. We're probably just going to be looking at the 2 pages. This one shows all phase 2 stuff. The other one's a little bit older. It's more of a master site plan, and it's got phase 3 and 4 included in there also. So we're going to take a look at those, and we're going to zoom in and see what we can see. So definitely want you guys' feedback as we're going through this. Any questions that I could help answer, or anything that you may know that you could educate me on. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to see what we're looking at. So we got a couple more people on. We're at 39, and we got 26 likes. So 13 of you have not hit that like button. So make sure you do that. See, Don says, this is what I've been looking for. Thanks, Bear. Yeah, and sorry about the delay. I actually have been trying to get these since December and was going back and forth with the city of Casa Grande. Not their fault or anything. They got better things to do than supply me with site plans. So let me move in here a little closer so I can maybe see some of this. And open to the road says, as Lucid drops, I will buy more and more. Lucid is on sale. Yeah, there's a lot of sale prices, and the prices can keep going down, and it's not having anything to do with Lucid. It has everything to do with Vladimir Putin and his wanting to conquer the world, or at least that part of it. So let's start zooming in. Let's go towards the top first and take a look at this. I've also got another view. Let's see here on QuickTime. So this gives us another view of the site, and we can look at the videos, the overhead videos, and see if we can correlate some of the stuff on the site plans. If we have questions, we can flip back and forth. I've got a bunch of different videos that I've got up here, and we'll be able to take a look at them. So let's go back to the site plan right here and start zooming in. And these are real decent quality, so we can really see what we're looking at. And We can start up here. This is the northeast area. Going through some of the other pages, I did find on the employee parking on this side here, we've already got solar panels, covered parking and solar panels right here in this section. It looks like a lot, if not all, of this covered park or of the employee parking will be covered parking. And if it's covered, it's more than likely going to have solar, though I could not find any definite words in this saying that it will be solar, but it did say covered. So that is for sure. This is the existing building, the body in white, number 1. That's what that building is called. And we can see that right here. This is the building that we're looking at. So we go back, and they are going to be starting body in white number 2 right here. That's 203,000 square foot. And that's just going to be north of it. And we've got WIP, which is, well, that just slipped my mind right there. One of you guys are going to say it. I'm going to be like, yep, you're right. And then we've got a new stamping line, which is going to go in here, 130,000 square foot. And if we look back here, right here on the right corner, this is where this is going to connect to. If we could, let's see here. I think this was a single shot. Oh, yeah, we're pulling out a little bit. Okay, that gives a little bit better of a view, but not much. Let's see if we got another video that we can bring up, maybe of the north side. Here we go. This would be a good one. Let me fill the screen with that. This is where those buildings are going to go right here. So body in white number 2. The WIP, somebody remind me what that means. And that's going to be like right about here. And then another stamping line right here. We've already seen this in the previous videos, but they've cleared all this out, all this demolition of these other houses. There was actually something in the plans about demoing those houses, and they were listed in there. Then we've got something called Cyclone, which is 17,000 square foot right here. Cup and number 2, 10,000 square feet, and FB number 2. So I'm not sure what the cup stands for, but they're extending that, whatever that is. Let's see if we can see cup number 1. Cup number 1, that might be it right there. Let's go back and forth. Let's see, right next to, I think these are AC units. Yeah, so whatever this is cup number 1, and cup number 2 is going to be going right there. Let's see here. As going to just go back to some of the comments. How about the railway on the west side? Tyrell, we will get to that. I've got information that's already been put out there, but I've also got some information that I was told about that railway. So we'll talk about that when we get to that shortly. What do they do in stamping? That is where they actually take sheets of metal and use large presses. Metal goes through, stamping comes down on top, and we'll print out basically a door panel, a fender, a hood, things like that. And that's how they make each individual part into a shape that will resemble a car. Did I see the Meet Kevin Lucid review? I have not seen that, and I really need to. Let's see, Jordan. This factory would be massive when finished. What is the total annual production when fully built? When fully built, they're looking at 500,000 is what their goal is by 2025. Can you make these papers public to download via Google Doc or Drive? I'm not going to do that. They are publicly available, but I don't want to put them out there just because I'm not sure what the legalities on that are. So, like I said, they are publicly available through the town of Casa Grande. Got a Hediyat. says, "Hey, Bear," and I say, "Hey, back." Up top, we see this is the employee parking that already has been completed, but it's not open yet. They've got the basin up here, which we've seen them working on. This road right here does not exist. Neither does this one, the ones in gray. So as we go down a little bit, we've got the existing building, AMP1. First floor, general assembly, number 1, and second floor is paint, number 1. Oop, don't want that on there. Between here, you cannot see this because I can barely see it. This is that tunnel, that elevated car conveyor is what it's called, going from the body white building to the general assembly building. Let's see if that's this conveyor right here. And they are going to be making another one. And the other one's going to be right here. And this, we've kind of seen some of it. It's going to come down off of the General Assembly building. It's going to turn this way and then down through here. And we can see that this section right here and this fact of the factory that they're building over here, that's where the car conveyor is going to be. And it's going to turn and go this way and then connect right there into that building. Coming down a little bit further, well, let's go to the left a little bit. All right, there's nothing else to see there except for an HW number 2, might be hardware or something. It's 5,000 square foot. Looks small, but that's bigger than most houses. Some roadway that will be put in. The temporary gravel construction road, which we've seen that. An ASRS number 2, 20,000 square foot looks like it's going to be right in front of the building. That would put it right there. That's I'm sorry, that'll put it right over here, right by the car conveyor. Okay, so we have more of the proposed employee parking lot, which, like I said, is going to have looks like all covered parking. This section right here, GA number 2, that is the one with the steel that we currently seeing being built. If we go back to the video, we can see this piece that comes out like this. For whatever reason of the design of the building, they've got like 2 legs that come out. This is one of them, and this is another one. This is going to be a different section. You can see that there's a wall right here. But these 2 legs are both being built, and you could see them up there. Let's see if we can get a better view of that. I don't know if we can. I'm going to flip through this. No. Let's bring this back to over here. Let's take a look at another one of the videos that I pulled out. Okay, here's that other leg right there. This is 1, and this is 2. And we'll go full screen with that one also. So that's right here. This is what all has been built. This right here has been built, and this has been built right here. And they're coming down here. The building right over here, this is also part of phase 2. This is the warehouse number 2. This looks like General Assembly number 2. Keep in mind, these names may have changed. This document's about 8 months old. And they'll have a training center right towards the north end of where the buildings were. So that training center would be like right here. That's what we'll be looking at. Let's stop and see if there's any other questions for this. Will it make sense to do a weekly flyover instead of currently every other day and do a side-by-side comparison? If we did that, we'd miss all the car counts. The car counts are really important, especially for investors, so we can see how many cars are coming out of there. John, let's go Lucid says, nice new haircut, Bear. All I did was trim up the sides, and it was a couple weeks ago, but it was right before my vacation, so I trim it real tight on the sides. Thanks to your son who did a fantastic job while you were out. Yeah, he did an amazing job. So everybody give a shout out to Baby Bear. Sam says, keep doing the same flyovers. They're perfect as it is. And John says, ditto to that. Guys saying hello to each other. And Sam says, You can just watch them weekly. True. A comparison would be really good. Yeah, it would be, and it would be nicer if we could get in and get better views to do those comparisons, but we have to do them from so far away that it's hard to get a good comparison to see exactly what's changed. And we got 61 people on and only 38 likes. So I'm going to keep begging for those likes, guys. It doesn't cost anything. Interesting over here in the bottom left, cup number 2. I thought cup number 2 is at the top here. This says cup north number 2. All right. So this is just cup number 2, 10,000 square foot. Looks like over on this side, this is a road right here. And this looks like all to be docks. And they have quite a few docks there, all lined up on this side. So that's quite large. So the General Assembly building is going to be 649,000 square foot. And the warehouse building that's going up just to the west of it, just next to it, is going to be 875,000 square foot. On these plans, it currently shows that it's going to be, I believe, 2.4 million. Oh, nope, I'm sorry, 2.7. I was looking at another one earlier that said 2.4. Building square foot, phase 2, 2,722,500 square foot. That is 62.5 acres. The entire lot size is 498.88 acres. So nearly 500 acres. A square mile, I think, is 640 acres, to give you an idea of how big this is. Maximum building height is 80. Proposed stamping height is 83. I'm not sure what the difference is there. Parking required, 1 per employee at shift with the highest count, 4,720 parking spots. Parking provided, 1,125 was in phase 1. Another 4,077 will be in phase 2. And then they break it down, I believe, to handicap and van handicap, things like that, as far as how many more spots are in there. Let's go back to the building itself. So we're going to keep going south on this. This is right here is the south end of the structure they're currently working on, which is going to be right here. That's the end. And that's as far south as they're going, or at least this crew is. Over here we have PT number 2. That PT is going to be paint. And we've got MMPT, which I'm not sure what the MM stands for. Might be a different version of paint. But that's the second section right there. So this is the second paint building, which is also going in. More employee parking. And quality number 2, that's the last part of the building going south. They've got a small test track that's going in right here. A tank farm. The quality building is going to be 97,000 square foot. And the paint building, I don't think I said it was 462,000, with the other part of the paint building, another 98,000. So looking at 560,000 square foot for the additional paint buildings. Now, here's the building all the way on the south end that just got a concrete floor, and it's having the steel raised. Right here, I'll keep moving it so it doesn't get lost in there. 75,000 square foot, and it says it's an SKD building. I don't know what that means. I couldn't find anything in the plans of what SKD. Oh, I know what it is. I just figured it out. SKD GA. That's got to be the Skateboard General Assembly right there. And it says number 2. So did I miss number 1? Or is number 1 at the other site? Because SKD, they do have another facility where they're building the skateboards. But it would definitely make sense to start doing that here. 75,000 square foot. I am guessing at this. If anyone wants to tell me that I'm wrong or dumb, go ahead. Just do it politely. But that seems to make sense to me. Skateboard General Assembly, and being number 2 because it's the second one. So I think I figured that one out. I was looking at it for the last 2 days. What is SKD? And once I saw General Assembly right there, it kind of just made sense. So good. And here's another area with 1,750 stalls. So parking stalls. But that's the parking queue lot. So I believe that let's look at that parking information up here. Where was that? There's nope, nothing there matches with 1750. So that is going to be, I'm guessing, possibly new production. Yeah, I'm going to say this is definitely new production. This is a place for car haulers right here. And that'd be amazing to see that many cars sitting in the parking lot on a given day with the car haulers coming in. And it makes sense to have it close to the entrance. This is going to be the south entrance. So yeah, that's awesome right there. Here's a skateboard building, has 4 docks on the south end, which also makes sense. We've got a delivery area coming in here. They could drop off the parts for the skateboards. Love trying to figure out the flow of how all this works. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Okay, so you guys got any questions about this so far? Not seeing too many questions about the factory. Car parking. Yeah, new car parking. New car. All right. So what other notables did I see on this? Well, we're going to zoom out a little bit and then we'll see the whole thing, because this is only phase 2. Let's see. Chain link fence. That's not really that exciting. So this section right here is all going to be phase 3. And one of the plans that I have shows everything that's in there. It's going to be slightly different. This phase 2 is going to look a little bit different. Things are going to be missing from it. So let's go over and take a look. What is the skateboard? Sam, the skateboard is it's going to be the battery pack on the bottom of the car attached to the structure, the bottom structure of the car, tied into the wheels and the motors. Whether or not the motors are in the skateboard, I don't know. Let's bring this up real quick and see if I can get you a picture of a skateboard. I'll bring that over here in a second. Electric. Let's see here. I'll go to images. Here we go. Let's see. That one looks good. Let me bring this over to this other window if I can. Everything's full screen over there. Show you what the skateboard is. I'm getting it. This is a skateboard. Let me get my image out of it. Whether or not it's going to have motors, I couldn't tell you. But you've got the battery pack. You've got the suspension for the car. You can see this one has a frame going into the back. That's going to be what the skateboard is. A skateboard chassis. And this is an article from 3 years ago. A skateboard chassis might be in your future. Yes, it is. All right, so let's get that back off and let's get these things back the way they were. Hope that helps explain it to you. You want to see the electric plans? Okay. I'm not very good at reading electric plans, and these aren't, we can go take a look at that when we're done here. Let's see. Let me see. I'm just going back through the comments real quick. A bunch of comments just came in while I was looking for that. Or did I miss some? Let's see. I watched the Subaru Isuzu factory initial build in Lafayette. They built the Toyota Camry for a few years, which tells me that there's a lot of potential for growth to manufacture other brands. Yeah, that's true. right here. Sam says, Barrett, I opened up 4 different tabs of this live stream thinking I could like each one to add more likes, but it didn't work. Well, thanks for trying. Yeah, if you want to do that, you got to have different accounts. And there are 69 of you watching, but only 49 have hit that like button. Come on, guys, let's get it. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Cha-Cha's telling you open up different Google accounts first. Let's see here. All right, my chat's just flying through, and I'm missing a lot of questions. I apologize for that. So let's take a look at the older plans, because I have something interesting in there, and this was brought up. These are the older plans. These are. Let's see if we can find the date on this. Oh, that went away real quick. That is just one of the sections that are broken down. I think I slid down on a page. I did. Let's go back up. Nope. This is it right here. C400. That is the page name. And then it just did it again. There we go. Hopefully that stays. Let's zoom in a bit. We're going to look over on the right and see if we can see when these plans are actually released, because these are older plans. You can see here it says 2.4 million square foot. And the date on this is February of 2021. So the plans that we were just looking at were a little bit newer, but there's some interesting things in here. Even though things have changed, you can see this whole building is shaped differently than what it is now. So we know some things are going to change on this, but it just gives you an idea of what's going to go in phase 3. But one thing I wanted to show everybody on the left side here is a railroad track. This is a railroad spur right here. This is the spur. It's going to come off the main line. And why it doesn't show up on the phase 2 that we were just looking at, I can't answer that. But I did inquire about these railroad tracks, and I was told that the railroad tracks are something that was part of the package with the city of Casa Grande. And there's several other companies, and including the Taiwan Semiconductor, that are also building in Casa Grande that want a railroad track. And that was part of their agreements too. So even though it's not showing up in the site plans, in the newer site plans, this is still supposed to be in there, and it's going to be worked out soon. So you can see the spur here. They have two lines right here, merge into one, and then merge back into it. And it's interesting though, because this may change as far as the location, because this plot of land right on the north here is a recycling facility for cars. So it's basically a junkyard. Though I don't see parts all over the place, we just see cars, and we've seen them in some of the flyovers. So not sure if this is going to change. This land right here on the left is Tractor Supply, a distribution center. So this is in the plans, and it's also in the agreement. So it's something that has to happen. We see some buildings in here that are shaped differently. So we won't go over them, because that just means that the way that they're set up here is not the way that they exist. Mr. Kilo, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Support of the channel is something that is needed to keep this channel going. Blank Slate says, electric plans are really significant. Would be great if you could share with everyone. We can go to them, and I can do what I can to show you what I got, and you can translate for me if you'd like. So yeah, we've got the railroad plans, and then in the center here, which is phase 3, we can see where phase 2 stops with all the docks. Let's zoom in just a little bit more so we can actually read what's on here. We've got on the northwest of that is warehouse number 3, paint number 3. On this side, we've got paint number 4. Validation queue number 4, which I'm not sure where that is supposed to actually land on, but we've got warehouse number 4, and general assembly number 4, and 3 and 4. So this is, let's go back to the square footage, because the square footage for that for phase 2 is 2.4. Let's see if there's anything here for phase 3. Because phase 3 doesn't look like it's included in these plans as far as how much square footage that is. But if somebody wanted to add that up, 325 and 210, 415, 480, 600, and 430. And that's going to give a rough idea at a minimum of what phase 3 is going to be. And we've got this validation queue. You know what? This might be this section right here. There's a long rectangle section. That could be the validation queue, and that could be 340,000 square foot. It's skinnier than this, but longer. And this is 430 square foot. So that would make, maybe that's what this is. Maybe their validation queue, I'm not sure exactly what that is. That could be where you're putting cars that need to be validated before they're ready to go, and there would be a stockpile of them. So possibly for that. We see this existing, the trailer storage. We see that lot and we see it empty. What we don't see in these plans is the test track. And nope, this is water retention right here. This area right here is where they're bringing the cars out, but maybe that's why that changed. Let's see, Tyrell. Next flyover, could you go north a bit to see existing railway? Google Earth doesn't do it justice. No, it doesn't. The railway is north about 3 miles or so. It goes from the southeast to the northwest. But I think it would just go straight up and then connect at that distance, at the distance of 3 or 4 miles. So you can see the differences here. Did anybody add that up? Am I going to have to do that? All right. That's 1 million. That's 1.5. That's 1.8. It's about 2. It's about 2 point, probably about 2.8. This next phase 3 is looking like it's 2.8. Wow. I just had a dog kick in the door. Should have locked it. Oh, she's coming over to the camera, and she's wet. Oh, there she goes. She's wet and she stinks. Yeah. Hi. How you doing? You want to say hello to everyone? Can you say Lucid? It's raining out, and she smells. Go. All right, I might be gagging a little bit, but we're fine. I can handle it. All right. Now she's sitting down. All right, guys. Validation queue is to validate what is going onto the trains. Okay. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Because I don't know what all these things mean, but I'm sure willing to try and figure it out. Let's take a look at this. This is the utility plans, phase 2 utility plans. And let's see if we can find something that says electrical on it. If not, we're going to have to start flipping through it. Yeah, she did that. We're trying to get the dog out. This is Nellie, and she won't move. Oh, now we're going to leave her. Oh, wait, she's getting up. She's going. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah. I touched her. All right. You know, everybody needs a little bit of attention. Okay, so let's see if we can oh, this print is so small. Let's make it larger. Let's see what we can find out here. All right. This is paving construction notes. No, that's not really what was asked for, was it? Okay. Let's start zipping through these and see what we can find. Let's see, facility, motors, prepared for site plan. I know some of these said different things. There was one that was sewer, which I don't even think I have open. Okay, this is phase 2 grading and drainage. Wow. Okay, we're just flipping through these, seeing what we can find. Water construction notes. That's what it says here on the right side. I'm not sure if we have electrical. Sewer, we've got dry utility construction notes, and water on this one. Same thing. Just seeing the same thing on these. Water, sewer, dry. Blank say electric will be E-plans. Okay, well, I don't think I've seen any of those, but we'll flip through them real quick. Well, maybe not real quick, because how many pages was this? This particular one is 20. We're on page 22 of 34. I know one of them was like 160 pages. Okay. But I'm here for you guys. If you guys want to see this stuff, we're going to bring it up. And that is the bottom of that one. Well, we're one off, but it's still the bottom to me. All right, let's look at this one, see if there's anything in here. This is 31 pages. We're going to bring that zoom in a little bit so we can see what's on this side. Site plan, just says site plan, site plan. Here's one that's different. Master grading and drainage. You can see, again, this is the full 3 phases. I've zoomed into this. This is like the grading heights of the parking lot that they need to get everything to. Really precise stuff to make sure you get your drainage right. And they start breaking down sections of the site. This would be the northwest. Master utility plan. And let's zoom in on that information on the right. So while we're looking at this, is everyone buying Lucid this week? As it has been said, it's on sale. Elevation, pipe slope. This is more elevation stuff. Not what we're looking for. This looks like water and water retention. I'm not sure if this has got electric, unless we're going to have to go to the last one. Oh, they do have landscaping plans, in case you guys were wondering. See what kind of landscaping they're going with. Desert willows. Tall, skinny, bottle-style trees, but they tend to break. Ironwoods, those are good trees. Blue Palo Verdes, worst tree to put in, or maybe the second worst, because the first worst is the native mesquite. I'd hate to be their landscaper. Mesquites and Palo Verdes are very popular in Arizona, and they have a horrible propensity of breaking. Palo Verde trees cannot grow and support their own weight, so they always snap. Mesquites have very shallow roots, and they also snap tremendously. They'll pull themselves out of the ground with a good monsoon. So they've got 328 Palo Verdes and 96 mesquites, and I will guarantee you that in 10 years, out of those 425 trees, there will be 10 original ones, and the rest will have fallen over. Guaranteed. Red Bird of Paradise, very popular in Arizona. Purple Hopseed, also very popular. Fairy Dusters. Yeah, these are all pretty typical bushes that they're putting in. They got brittle brush, though I think they're really called bottle brush, unless they just had a typo there. century plants, agaves. These are cactus style plants. Saguaros. They got 12 saguaros going in. Those get expensive depending on the size. Gonna grab a drink of water. Oh, they got deer grass. My wife loves deer grass. Wants me to put in. I hate it. Deer grass is very hard to trim, and it gets very, very messy. And they're going to put 475 of them in. I got some morning glories, gold lantanas, purple trailing lantanas. Lantanas are good plants. They're a good ground cover. They only grow about 2 feet tall, but they're very colorful. Anyway, I don't think you guys care that much about the landscaping. Let's go to the end of this, and that's all that's on this. I would totally not put half those plants in, though. Horrible. Oh, decomposed granite, 1.5 million square foot of granite. It's just basically a decorative rock. And the rock itself, express caramel, half-inch grained express caramel, 2-inch depth. That's going to run. Caramel's a darker color, and darker colors are more expensive here because the mines are further. So, how much is that going to cost? Is the rock itself probably costs $50 to $60 a ton. It takes 1 ton to cover 100 square foot. So that's a lot of money for rock. That is a big rock job. I'm sure they'll have machines and equipment, but it's like $50 a ton for the rock. Most installers will do like $30 for like a small yard, $30 a ton. With this, they'll probably be charging less because of the quantity, and they'll have heavy equipment actually putting it out. But that's a lot of rock. I don't even want to do the number for that, but we'll get off the landscaping here in a minute. Let's see, 1,500,000 divided by 100. They need 150,000 tons of rock to cover that area at 2 inches in depth. So let's times that just by the material cost, because that's, let's say, $50 a ton. That is $7.5 million in just decorative rock that is going to go around this site, plus the labor to install it. Wow. Oh, and then they've got some native hydro seeding going on. I don't know what the cost of that is. But they're also going to have to water that grass. They should have done all rock. Let's go look at the other plans. See what is on the other one. See if this is the right one. No, that is not the right one. 160 pages. This, who knows? Maybe this is the right one. We've got demo plans here. This is the fire access. You can see all the red. Those are all fire lanes. Oh, and it just went away. Let's see if we can get that back there. Yeah. Okay. All the reddish pink is where the fire lanes are going to be. Let's see. Let's just check the comments. What is the timeline for phase 2 and 3? Phase 2 is probably going to be done by the end of this year or very early next year. But I know when they built phase 1, it went up in a year. They got all that done. And now they've got more money, more funding, and they're bringing in more contractors to get phase 2 done quicker. There's a priority on a lot of these things to get this done. And I think that we're probably looking at the end of the year, early next year for phase 2. Phase 3, probably going to start right after that. Blank slate. Awesome that what you're doing for everyone, Bear. Thank you. Appreciate it. Got a Lucid update. 23.6 is what it closed at. A 4Q, the search is not working on this for whatever reason. When I type in anything, I'm not getting any results. So I don't know if I've got it set up wrong or something. So I'm just not getting anything for any results. I would have done that. Believe me, I would have. Let's see. Bill Kerr bought a little more at 24. We'll buy more at 23 and on down if it keeps falling. Tyrell says messy. I don't know what we're referring to on that. Mark says, I live in Europe. Scary times for us here. Yeah, it is. It's, we look at it when we're looking at Lucid and we're looking at our stocks and go, oh, wow, how it's affecting the stock market. But you just can't forget about the people whose lives are going to be disrupted and people's lives are going to be ended because of what's going on. And it's horrible to think of it and how little we can now do about it. Let's see. Bill Kerr, here in Texas, mesquite grows like weeds, spreads by budding roots, very difficult to clear out. Yes. We have the same issue. Mesquite is native out here. You can go out in the desert, you'll see mesquite trees. And if you don't trim them, they look 10 times worse than they do when they are trimmed, and they don't look that pretty when they're trimmed. I think I have several mesquite trees on the property, maybe on my property, maybe 4 or 5. I've lost a couple of them recently, including lost a couple of Palo Verdes, which I didn't really care about, except one fell in my friend's car. Sorry. Let's see, Don. Bear, this is fantastic, and the growth potential for apartments and single-family housing in Casa Grande. I have friends retiring wealthy from working at the Subaru Isuzu factory in Lafayette, Indiana. Yeah, Casa Grande has always been a smaller city, and it's just on the outskirts of the whole Phoenix metropolitan area, where most of the cities blend together. You cross one street, you're into another city, all the suburbs. But Casa Grande was out there like another 30 miles, and so there's desert between it, including an interstate, so it was easily accessible, but it was always outside the valley. But things like this was just going to make Casa Grande explode. People are going to start buying up a lot of land, putting up new homes, apartment buildings, things like that. So it's definitely a big thing. It's going to be a big help for them. Let's see. Do you think they will build the Customer Experience Center, CEC, during Phase 2? I got no word on that. I didn't see anything that looked like that either. So all I have is guesses. Let's see. Let's take a look here and see if we can find that electric that we've been looking for. Let's see. Site plans I'll just say site plans. It's going to go through each section you can see in the bottom right. Let's see. Got 73 likes and 71 people watching. Now that's a good ratio. But I'm sure some of you haven't hit that like button. So do it now. Do it. Let's see. We are looking for electric. I'm not sure that we're going to find it. Let's see. This was, I believe, for grading. Interesting. This is quality number 2. Okay, yeah, in the skateboard building just south of that. These are all just labeled as site plans. If you're into concrete and foundations, it's a little bit of that, I think. Detailing how well, maybe not. This is a crosswalk. This is on-site curb opening. Okay, maybe it's not foundation. It's hard for me to read. Your eyes get worse and worse as you get older. Here's another page of just how they're supposed to be making certain things. These are all things that you need for permitting. They get really detailed. This is a lot of information that I don't think most of us would care about as far as investors and how a curbing is going to be formed. This is another grading plan. We're going to keep zipping through these. See if we can find anything with electric. Drainage plans. More drainage. More drainage. All right, drainage and grading. We're going to get to the end of this, and then we're probably going to wrap this up unless you guys have any other questions. See, Don, how deep do they need to drill for water? We have the luxury in the Midwest as we have underground aquifers. Arizona, despite it being a desert and not really get it, we get about 7 inches of rain a year in the Phoenix area. We do not really have much of a water shortage. I'm not going to say we're very conscious of our water, but we have canals that bring in water that was created, I think, in the 60s. Huge project. And there's canals that go all over Arizona. Not like Florida canals, but actual concrete man-made canals. And we also have tons of aquifers and I don't know what they call them, but they store the water underground. So whenever we have excess water, it's actually stored in caves and caverns underneath the state. We've got a really good deal with the Colorado River, the water people who's ever controlling it. Arizona gets more water from the Colorado River. Their allotment is higher than Colorado, New Mexico, or not New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, and California. I think somehow whoever did our water deal years ago, they worked it out, and they've got rules on building homes out here. If you're going to build a new community, you have to prove that there's going to be a 100-year water supply before you can build. So they've taken these things into account. And even though we do get water from some reservoirs that are up north, and sometimes those run low, a lot of times, we'll be short for a while, but we've never had water restrictions here that I can remember in 30 years. They've never said you cannot do this or you'll be fined. They do push to take your grass out and put in rock, or on a new home to put in a desert landscaping so that it uses less water. But they don't require it. And we've just never had water restrictions to that point. Like I've lived in other places and they have had water restrictions, and there was always issues. In California constantly has them. Looks like that's gonna be nearly the end of it. That might be just about it. So I think that's about it for this, guys. If you have any questions, let's put them in the comments. And I appreciate everyone being here. We are going to do a Lucid flyover video tomorrow. And I'll do that. I'll be here so we can talk and chat what we see with the car count. And then we'll also have a Nikola video. Both of those were postponed because of the weather today. But I want to thank everyone for being here. Pleasure having you. It's great to see all the people in the chat. But we'll be back tomorrow. So everybody, have a good night.